Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're joining us for another stream of, well, the first official stream of the Tier 4 series. Joining me on mic here is Icewind.
Hi. Uh, I think it's the second stream though. They're saying first, but right? You
Yeah,
guys did
well,
one last week.
we did a test race last week, but this is like the first
Okay.
official kind of race of this
Okay.
series. Although I think, I was thinking about it today. Yeah, I mean, it is really just the second race because they're all going to be like test races as such because we're really testing out the drivers to see how they are on track and to see if they're if they're competent enough for the higher tiers. If not, they'll
Yep.
either stay here until they are competent enough for the higher tiers, or else, yeah, they probably will just give up. I mean, if you can't race in tier 4, then yeah. Uh, yeah, there's not much hope for you in the higher tiers because as we've seen in the last few days, there has been some pretty good racing happening. And we had the tier 2 race, we had the tier 3 race at Monza. But today, one of the unique features of this series in tier 4 is that the drivers get to choose the track. So after each race, a vote goes up by Joel, and each driver gets to put a vote in to see which track is up next. So it could be any track, it could be Monaco, or it could be Austria. Today it's Austria, so yeah, there we
I'll be
go.
amazed if we see Monaco anytime, but we'll see. So I don't think that's exactly one of the driver favorites, but yeah. Word Up actually goes on top with 105.4. Uh, Yeah, something I wanted to say. I've seen plenty of names here who've practiced a lot this week and are eager to race here, like Shaka, Word Up, Bowman, Gerla. These guys have been putting in a lot of practice, and we'll see how they do today.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, a lot of these new guys are practicing very hard, are very active in the community straight away, so it's a really good thing to see from my point of view. Um, I wanted to ask you, so you're one of the fast guys, the fastest guys in the league. I know you will not agree with that, but what
Well,
is going to be a good time here? What is like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 type time?
well, for tier one, I would say that maybe the fastest guys would have gone sub 104s, maybe in a normal short quali session with good conditions. So I'm still expecting to see like 104s here from the faster boys in this uh, test tier or whatever we want to call it, tier 4. So Giannis, for example, is a good candidate for that, for in my books anyway. He's pretty fast, and I saw Mr. Enemy Killer, ever Snaxo Lottle, whatever. I don't know. I still can't say that name, so I'll just call him Enemy Killer. He did a pretty good time in a practice session earlier today when I was in as well. So
Yeah, he's very
yeah,
good at dialing it in for one lap, but it's a race, so really he has problems, over the a 50% race distance, so this will be a good chance for him to get that
yep.
experience level up.
Just as I say that, Gian is actually one guy I mentioned there goes on top of the list with a 105.2, but it's early minutes still in this qualifying, so their track will improve, and the later runs will. I would expect a few guys to go dive into the 104s here. So
Yeah, just a wee word on Giannis. He is, I mean, he did have a tier 2 seat, I believe, at
yeah,
one point,
that's
and
right. Yeah.
did a few races in tier 2, but wasn't able to make it for any of the following races, so he gave up the seat. But it's good to see him here in the tier 4. I was wondering how he would do against these boys, and the first signs are he's going to do very well because he's pole position right now. Another guy who we should watch out for is Larson, who unfortunately he's a tier 2 driver, full-time driver, and we normally do not allow full-time drivers to switch tiers. But he is doing it for one race. But unfortunately, he was kicked out of the lobby before the qualifying session got underway. So I feel like he's going to make it for the race, but he is going to be at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I think he's in the session, but yeah, he won't have a car for this qualifying session. Because of how the game works in these circumstances. So yeah, Larson will have to start at the back of the field, but he'll get plenty of racing there. So I think that's that's kind of the main thing for this this tier, right? So just we want to see that wheel-to-wheel racing skill from these guys, and which tier they eventually would ascend to. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds a little more prophetic than I really wanted to say, but yeah.
It's a bit of an experimental tier, so we're just kind of using it. It's sort of almost
Yeah.
like a sorting tier, and if you aren't good enough for any higher tiers, then you'll be kept in this tier as such. So you will see some
Yeah.
familiar names. We do have
So
3 seats up for grabs in tier 3, I believe, and I think if we see some of these guys do very well today, we may see 3 of them move up to full-time seats in tier 3.
yeah. One thing, Chief, wanted to ask you here. So we don't actually have a championship for this tier, right? It's just race by race here.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no standing as such, but I mean it is evolving as the weeks go by. So at the minute, no standings, not even FIA. So if, say for example, if someone was to show really bad racecraft, they just won't come back next week. They'll have to kind of show themselves in practice that they're able to actually drive better.
Yeah. So maybe we can actually dive into some action here right then after that general talk that we just did. So Micro P actually has put his Ferrari on pole here while we were speaking. So 105.2. So not quite into the 104s yet, but I'm still expecting somebody to get there. Oh, and there's a big crash actually. So enemy killer slams the back of Micro P. I wonder what was that about. Was he on an I think enemy killer might have been on an actual hot lap there, so
Oh dear.
I don't know. That's that didn't look very good.
Yeah, I was actually watching
You
Michael
will have
P,
to.
but yeah, the camera angle did not really show what happened there at all. But
Yeah, enemy killer just hit them straight on. I don't know. Okay, so we eke ever closer to the 104 barrier. So 105.0 is now the pole time Nico Rosbot, who we know from F2 at least.
yeah, and
Has he
tier
done an
3 as
F1 race
well.
before?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
he's tier 3, and he is a pretty fast guy.
yeah,
So he was in the race last week as well, and he did pretty well there. I
yeah.
actually can't remember who won last week. I'm trying to think.
I think it was Bemmi, right? Like one of those LOR
Pemi,
guys.
that's right. So we moved up Pemi. Pemi's going to be in tier 2. There's a few other guys as well that we took out. As Zorro went to tier 2. Bryce
Yeah,
Evolution is going to be tier 1, so he's making his debut race tomorrow. So I'm very much looking
yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah, and Nico Rosberg was actually fourth in that race, so yeah, it might be one of the uh, winning candidates here today.
Yeah, just getting to chat as well. We've got a lot of guys. They're Team Bowman, and I hope I'm saying his name right. There's 4 guys chanting his name in chat. So Bowman,
Oh,
where is he at the minute? He's P8, but he is on a lap.
and Legend has put in that 104 now, 104.9. So yep, we've got there already. So yeah, these guys are not too shabby, to be honest, with this pace.
Wimpy in chat as well. He's a Bowman fan. Who else we got Legion from tier 3. Shout out to Legion. We've also got Mossy Gaming, who was in last week's race. Is not on track today, unfortunately, but yeah, he's a tier 3 driver. He's currently being reprimanded. He's been a bad boy in tier 3, so he's had one of the
Yeah.
biggest penalties that the FA's handed out, a 3 race ban. But as we saw last week, he is capable of driving very well, and yeah, I've got Bowman on screen here. I'm a bit distracted here, but he's approaching what I'm going to call turn 2, and he makes it look pretty tidy there. Gets on the power nice and early. No back end kicking out, which sometimes happens. There's only only a handful of corners in this track. I love it. It's very fast, short track, very high speed, and usually throws up some really good racing. But yeah, what have we got? Bowman looking pretty good out there at the minute. Team Bowman will be
10th
happy.
down on his time though.
Oh dear, so P8, unless you may find like the the last sector might be where he lost all the time last lap, so he might be able to make up a good chunk of time here. We don't know yet. We'll see when he crosses the finish line how he's done.
Pretty good through there to me.
Crosses the line and it's goes slightly faster, puts himself P6 or
With the same
105.239.
time as Micro P, but Micro P is ahead of him because he set it before him, so. Or then there's less than a millisecond in there that we don't see there, because the game just. And also in real life, I think we would only see like 1,000th of a second, so. Yeah. Wasn't there some qualifying session in like 1997 or whatever when there was like 3 cars who had the same time?
Yeah.
In real life, that
Photo
is.
finish, yeah.
Anyway.
Legend is in the 104's ice, so 104.9 just about scrapes it in.
Yeah, I think I said that. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just a bit of backstory. Me and Ice decided, you know, I think we'll have a wee nap before the race, and of course my battery died on my phone, and I woke up at 6:30 going, oh dear, panic stations. So that's why we're running.
I was having like Kitsune message your wife and stuff, so.
I think my wife's asleep as well.
Okay, so
She was
yeah,
upstairs.
Legend actually is up on his time. Half a tenth in sector 1. So we may see improvement here. Charging down the back straight, DRS open. DRS down to high. And he is approaching the 2 fast left-handers in the middle of the track. This is a very, pretty much the trickiest section of the track for me anyway. And tacks it nicely, and on he goes, approaching sector 2 split where he is. Oh, he actually was there already, right? So I'm confused there. He's about a 10th up, I think. So we might see mid 4 here. No, well, it's about a 10th faster, so 108.4. 104.8, that is.
104.8, not bad. So he's the first guy in the 104s and improves on his 104 to go 104.859. So that's the time to beat. So who have we got out there who's capable of taking that pole
Sunny has
time?
gone P3 there as well. So good stuff from him. He's one of those guys who's been practicing really hard this week as well. So good to see some of that practice. How do you say it? I can't speak English today.
Paying off.
Yeah, paying off. That's the word.
Another guy who practices a hell of a lot is Shaka. I think he's called Shakalaka or something on the chat. He's not on a lap at the minute though. He's way down in his time, but yeah, I always like to see that when people are practicing a lot. I don't care about your pace. I mean, it just shows that you've got a bit of motivation to play the game and you're eager to get on the track.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I was racing in a practice session earlier. I just dropped to the back of the field and tried to race some of these guys, and he was fine wheel to wheel. So
oh, and you know what? He's actually no assists as well, no racing line, no nothing. So respect to this guy.
Indeed. I think he's pitting now, so he will not have time for another lap. He couldn't quite hook up a best lap here today, because I think he did a 105 in the practice earlier. So Shaka is gonna start 15th, it looks like, unless Ras or RD2 can improve their times and drop him further back. And it looks like, Giannis actually gets provisional pole there, 104.8 as well, and he goes a millisecond faster than Legend.
Nicely done. Yeah, just pips him to the post there. But who else is out there that can take this? We've got Bowman out there, I believe. Bowman is up in his time.
Yeah, Bowman is out on a hot lap, right? And he's a 10th up as well.
Yeah, so yeah, sector 2, we'll see another time on the board. Is he going to be able to? It's so difficult to improve on your time on this track. It's all about
it's a little down.
Smallest margins. Yeah, he is down in his time. But as I was saying before, I mean the sector 3, that's where my weak spot is, and if I get it right, I can make up like over half a second. So let's see what he can do. He's sweeping around.
Nice and tidy through there.
Yeah, gets on the power early. and across the line
Nope.
does not improve. I think his sector
10th down.
sector 2 really let him down there, I believe.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He was almost 1.5 tenths up in sector 1, but just couldn't hook it up for the rest of the lap. We have Sonny, one of the last guys, I think, to start a hot lap here. He probably is the last guy to start a hot lap, right?
Yep, Sagos is out there. He's about to cross the finish line. Is he going to improve on his time? No, he is not. He's way down on his time.
Sonny is up on his time, marginally. Couple of 100ths of a second in sector 1. It's a bit of a wobble out of turn 3, I think that's officially, but yeah, we'll so I don't know, we'll have to agree. We'll call it turn 3, I guess. I think the official
Yeah.
F1 map calls it turn 3. Yep, anyway, Sonny is on his way.
Yeah, and he's still up on sector 2 just by a tenth, just over a tenth. So
Yep.
he could potentially take pole here if he gets the
Yeah.
final corners right. Let's see.
Oh, that's a little lifter, a little wide through the penultimate corner, but pretty good through the final corner. And what can he do? He's across the line
Ooh,
and goes
P3,
third.
yeah.
So
A
yeah,
Legend
hit
is out there.
Nico Rosberg.
A Legend's up on his time. Ice. He's 1/10 up in sector 2. This is
Oh,
looking good for Legend.
okay. He still had time to start a lap there apparently. So see what he can do.
Fubor
And that
retired.
looked really good through the final sector to me. So I would expect him to pip Giannis here for pole, and
Yeah,
he
he
does
does
with
it.
a 104.7. That's
104.7. Nice lap from Legend there. So that rounds off qualifying. Good stuff from the guys. Hopefully see Larson
yep.
join us in this one as well. Got
Yeah, I think
Crimsonium.
he's in the lobby. I messaged him on Steam, so he should be there.
Cool. Crimsonium saying hello. No Fred also. Hello. How's it going? Mulio, sorry, I had to do something. Okay, alright.
We have two guys there, Giannis and Sonny, who have a grid penalty, so they're not actually gonna start on the front 2 rows of the grid. They're gonna fall back. So so we're gonna actually have after Quali Legend, Nico Rosberg, Micro P are gonna be the top 3 guys.
Yeah, I wonder what's happened there with the grid penalties. It must be maybe it's
I think
maybe
there was I think they collided together or something. That's what it looked like. I just had
yeah.
a quick look at the race director, and it looked like they had a collision between them. So that's
Strange.
unfortunate for them.
Very strange, yeah. I mean, I wonder if it was a pit lane issue. I know
Renault 1-2, by the way.
ooh, nicely done. Yeah, but that pit exit, it's very tight. If you clip the
Yep.
barrier, which I've done before, it can basically send your car spinning around and you're trapped in that pit lane, which is not
Yeah.
a good feeling at all.
Yeah. So waiting to load up here, but so Legend is on pole, and Nico Rosberg will be second, right? Yes, that's right. So onward we go for the formation lap.
Yeah, so I've got Ever Snacks a lot in chat. He's racing. He's P11 at the minute. He was saying game crashed and then I crashed and he couldn't put a lap together. So there we go. So yeah,
That
let's
is unfortunate.
run down the grid. We don't a lot of unfamiliar names here, but we do know of some of them. Legend, we know he is super quick here. He's done really well here today. P1 is teammate Nico Rosberg, and P2 Micro P is P3 in the Ferrari, and we've got Bowman and P4 in the Toro Rosso. Team Bowman are cheering him on in chat, so he's put himself in a good position today.
Yep. Going down the field, Sagos in the other racing point. Then we had Giannis, who's already made a few appearances in SLR in P6 with that grid penalty. Gerla starting P7. Sonny down in P8 after that grid penalty we saw. And yeah.
So Ward up P9. Isolo, he actually raced last week. He crashed at Eau Rouge, but he got picked for the Tier 3 race yesterday. And I don't think he got on too well, so I think he's going to be in Tier 4 until, as I say that, he's left the session. But yeah, just running out the grid then is Ever Snacks a lot, P11, Dario
Yeah.
P12.
Yeah, enemy killer seems to be somehow. If I go to his car, he's just not there. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Yeah, and just rounding up the field down. So we have Max, MRL Max in 13th, Fubar 14th, Shaka 15th, Raz, his Shaka's teammate in 16th, Ardeku 17th, and Larson, who didn't get to do a lap in quali, starts at the back of the field in P18.
Yeah, and everybody is on soft, so we're going to see a sprint race initially. This first stint. Isolo is back. Yeah, so he'll be able to take control of his car once the lights go out, but is it a bit of a disadvantage as the lights are up, the drivers are ready, and here we go for a Tier 4 race at Austria. The lights are out, but the cars are yet to leave. They are off. And
I think somebody took a jump start at the back, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, no message came up about that, but Legends got off to a pretty decent start here. He's flying up the road here. Nico in P2 still. Micro P is all over him though as they approach turn 2. I think Micro P is going to go for a move here. He's not actually backed out a lot. He's decided to go for a possible switchback, but no.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a tap from Zagos there into turn 3, but they got away with it, and I think there is no damage to anybody yet, so it's been a clean start.
Oh, and there is a bit of late braking going on in turn 3 there, but nobody thankfully got any front wing damage from what I could see. But Snaxalot is down in P14 at the minute, so he's had a terrible start. Larson is
contact as well between the Ferrari of Max and
just caught that. Yeah, Snaxalot's not having a good time out there at the minute. P14. Larson though is starting to make his way through the field as we would expect from Tier 3 full-timer. Oh, and there's someone off behind him. It's Artico. Yeah, goes back into last position. And who is that? Fubar is it? Oh no, it's Sonny. Sonny's had an issue.
Sonny's had an issue there, I think, in the final corner. He was almost sideways there. I saw him near the pit wall, but I think he didn't pick up any damage, so he's just lost a lot of positions there.
Again, Micro P is all over Nico Rosberg, but it looks like Nico got a really good run out of turn 2.
Oh, and a little bit of a Verstappen Leclerc stuff going on into turn 3, but they seem to live for another day.
Yeah, so far so clean, but I think it's only a matter of time from what I'm seeing on track here.
Yeah, but look at this at the front of the field. Like the Renaults are just running away with this race.
Oh, and there's contact at the back. Max and Shafta. Oh. Yeah, Max and Shafta had a bit of wheel contact there going into turn 5 and turn 6, but yeah, so far everybody's escaped without any injuries.
Yeah, and the Renaults are just running away with this race. They've already broken the DRS range from the other cars, so the Renaults definitely seem to have a good pace advantage here at the first laps of this race.
Yeah, Janos fallen back a position there? I believe he has.
No, he's actually picked a position there, I think. So.
Oh right, sorry, I'm getting some kind of weird standings issue with a glitch.
There's is that a lapped car? No, it's okay. I don't know what was happening with this. So actually, Giannis, I don't think he picked up a position. It was lag. So Zagos is actually in between there, but his car was ghosted for some of it. For had these lag issues lately in the game, so I don't know exactly what's happening with that. But yep.
Yeah. So Bowman is down in P7. So he's lost out a few positions there from the start, but he's still hanging in there. He's not far off the lead. Let's see what that gap is to the lead. It's 4.5 to the Renault of Legend. So Legend is doing what he needs to do here. He's just getting the hammer down and making the most of that free air ahead of him. Raz
doing really well on ERS as well, considering we've had DRS for 2 laps or 1.5 laps now. So Nico Rosberg, either he's choosing not to put too much pressure on his teammate, or they're just doesn't have that much pace advantage over him. But yeah. In the meanwhile, Micro P has actually joined this train as well. He's had to use up almost all of his ERS to do that, but he is in the DRS range here now, and DRS on this track is extremely powerful because of the 3 consecutive DRS sections. And we have sector 1 and 3 yellow flag. What is that for? Oh, Sonny is off in turn 3 at least.
Oh,
So,
Sonny's off. Oh no, that's not good.
oh, he's got big wing damage as well. So I wonder if there has been contact there, or did he just what happened? I'm just gonna have a look at race director here quickly. Don't see any warnings for contact or such, so I don't know what's happened there. But Sonny is missing most of his front wing on the right-hand side of the car.
Yeah, he's effectively out of this race, but there may be a safety car, so he should just stick in with it. It's unfortunate to see where we're thinking that Sonny would be one of the ones that would do really well in Tier 4 today, but yeah, I mean, if you get involved in an incident or you get any damage, it's going to hurt you massively. Oh, and there's a change of the lead, so Nico's got past Legend at turn 2, and I think Legend is looking to put the move back on him. Yeah, he goes down the inside, and he sends it down the inside, but Nico tries to get down
really
the...
deep.
Yeah, that was a bit of a send there, but it worked out for him, so...
And the gloves are off for the Renault guys here. They're definitely no team orders here. That's what it looks like. They're racing hard in the middle section of the track.
Yep. Because of no standings, effectively, it means there is no, like you say, no team orders. Larson, I'm seeing movement back there with Larson, so Larson's got past Isolo. He's already up to P9, so 3.9 to P8 for Larson. He's doing very well from the last to P9.
Now he has a bit of a gap to catch up to the next train. See what he can do about it. Fubar picks up another penalty there. And yeah, we see penalties being picked up right now all the way. So Max also picks up a penalty. It's quite easily done on this track. Yeah. Especially the final section of the track and then turn 1 are very easy to pick up warnings.
And look at this up front as well. This battle is raging between the Reynolds and Micro P is just sitting back and watching it all transpire, just rubbing his hands. This is playing right into it. I mean, he's in overtake mode. He should really try harvesting that ERS while these two guys are fighting ahead of him. And
Giannis is desperately trying to catch them. He's managed to drop the rest of the guys behind him out of DRS, and we have... okay, I think that was lag because we saw like a car warping around the track map there, but yep, let's just ignore that for now. Yellow flag sector 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, there's definitely a bug there. It just keeps coming up on my screen, yellow flag, yellow flag.
I hope that doesn't mess up like overtaking, because you can get an illegal overtake if there's a yellow flag. So I'm not even sure what's that for.
I've got Ever Snack Slots in the pits as well, so I think he's going in for a front wing change. I've got another car in the pits. Is that Isolo?
It's just yellow flags are on all the time now, so I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah,
I'm really annoying if we if the race is messed up like this for them, because
I've got Isolo in the pits and he's going backwards in the he's actually reversing the wrong way down the pits.
What is happening
here? My word, can you see that now?
Yeah, he's driving the wrong way around the pit. This just completely...
And then he just disappears.
What? Could it be his car? Oh,
he literally was going through it like he was doing it.
Lagged or something, so I don't know.
He was like at the end of the pits and then his car just flipped around and just drove back to his pit box.
Yeah, I don't see any more. Well, you still see those yellow flags. I wonder if we need to ask him to leave the session if it's lagging that bad, because I think as Pretorius is saying that yellow flags are bugs, so that basically means that you can't overtake another car because you'll get an illegal overtake if you overtake under yellows.
Yeah, this could get messy, but we've got another change of position up front. It's Nico once again putting the pressure on Legend. Nico's got the inside line, so I think he's going to stay tight to that and once again just send it through. Legends, yeah, these guys are not friends on track here. They're very much, the gloves are off and they are going at it. They both want to win here, and yeah, both are hungry for it by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're fighting really hard, but it looks like Giannis isn't really able to make any dent in that gap. He's still 2.6 seconds away, which is actually 0.3 more than he was a lap ago. So we have I'm just gonna stop saying anything about the yellow flags because I see them all the time. Yeah, it's really messed up, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But there's pretty much nothing we can do about it for right now. So.
Micro P, I saw a penalty flash up for him. Sago's
Yep.
as well, 3-second time penalty. As
Legend.
Nico sends it in turn 2 again, as takes the lead of this. Sorry, Legend.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry,
Yep.
Legend does take the lead of this race, and Nico down to P2. Nico is going to be under pressure from Micro P, though. He's in a pretty good position here. Is he going to send it down the inside? No, he does not. He's still running in overtake mode here, so yeah, I think he needs to be a bit more smart about his ERS management.
Yeah, it's not really an overtaking spot here into these fast left-handers, so unless you really get a good run out of turn 4.
Yeah, so he's basically draining his ERS. So whenever he hits the place where he really needs it, he's going to be out of ERS, and these guys are just going to fly off. So
yeah, and it's been happening every lap here. So
unless it's a bug, another one of the
no, I think he's
Codemasters
really
bugs.
in overtake here.
He's down to 5%. So yeah, he's got DRS, which is going to be handy for him. But unless he manages his ERS, he's going to be completely out.
Yeah, it runs out of ERS in the start of the straight already. So could also be that he's running auto ERS. I'm not sure how that.
Oh, Larson
behaves.
gets a 5 grid penalty for gaining a position while cutting the track. I wonder if that was a turn 1 cut there.
Yeah, but I think it's these yellow flags.
Right.
The problem is I don't know. Is it Zillow who is lagging that bad, or what is causing this? I can't.
I suspect it's either
Zillow
or Tsago, because Tsago is showing as 1 lap down for me. And he's P13.
Yeah, I can't. Corner cutting gained 1 place, but it doesn't say against who. So yeah, this is really unfortunate that we've run into this issue. Seems to go away for every once in a while, but
yeah, hopefully we can get some good racing here. Gammon, that says keyboard Magazine in chat. Hello,
yep.
Hardsa. Oh, Larson is out of the session. Oh no, so he's either disconnected or he's just given up on this one due to those issues with the yellow flags. Oh, that'd be yeah, that's not good for him.
Still seems to be online on Steam, but I'll just. No, not anymore.
Oh,
so.
Bowman closes up turn 2 on Gurla and actually taps him in the back there, but no damage done to either car. And Bowman, I think he's now P6. Is looking pretty feisty for P5 here. Gurla's struggling a little bit on that last corner. You can just see him kind of get his apex wrong. Feeling the pressure, the heat is on from Bowman. Team Bowman in chat. Let's hear it for your boy.
Yeah, Bowman fighting hard to get that P5, and I'd expect to see some. I think we're gonna see the first pit stop here, right? We are. So Giannis is into the pits at the end of lap 11.
Yeah, so Gurla going for the undercut. Giannis as well, putting a lap earlier than everybody else, but we're probably going to see a mass entry of the drivers next lap round because these tires are going to start falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
And Giannis going on a hard tire. I thought, okay.
That is a little surprising. I would have expected to see a because this track is a pretty easy soft medium, even for me. I'm usually pretty bad on tire wear, so that's a surprising move. But I guess he pitted a little bit early here, so maybe that's the thinking here. We'll see how we can do. I know in our tier 2 race when we had it here in Austria, Contender was still pretty fast on the hard tire, so maybe it's a Greek thing.
Yeah, never doubted.
We'll see what I can do.
But Nico is falling right off the back of Legend. I wonder if the tires are done for him with all that fighting. Micro P is making massive gains here. He's now running 1 ERS, so I imagine he is probably using auto ERS because his ERS management makes 0 sense right now to me. And this track here, I think auto ERS is going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, Larson is back in the game. I'm gonna try and chuck him an invite. He's still running 5th in that car, but yeah, he's lost a lot of time here, of course. Oh, and Shaka almost runs into the disconnected car of Larson.
Oh, and he actually did.
And
Larson,
he leaves the session again, oh no.
yeah, Larson have big issues, so he's falling back the order here. Shaka is got past him, P5 for Shaka. I think Fubar is next. He's got past him already. Giannis as well. He's already pitted. He's on those hard tires. Giannis actually looking to go for a move on Fubar. Going down the inside, he has both cars had DRS open there, but yeah, look at Giannis. Just sends it through there, and a lot of confidence on the entry speed, and carries that through and keeps the position. So he's now harassing Shaka. So Shaka is under pressure. I reckon maybe Shaka's gonna.
Giannis has really good pace here on these hards, as I.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Micro P gets a 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Oh no! That's him.
That's gonna be costly for him.
Yeah, that might cost him a podium position.
Hards as well, at this point. Okay,
ooh,
but
yeah,
I think that's not the right call.
Yeah, interesting move there from Giannis. He's no patience here. He wants to get past these guys quick. And onto the back of Micro P.
Yeah, he's gonna be there soonish, maybe.
Yeah, he's looking pretty pacey here on these hards, and these soft runners are staying out. So we've got 4 other guys pitted there. Looks like they're all going for the medium tire compound at the back.
It looked like Giannis had DRS there, but maybe he didn't realize it because he never opened it, and I think he actually didn't open it when I looked at the straight line speed yet. So
maybe it's broke.
No, I don't think it can be because we have reduced damage. So. Yeah, Max has left the session as well. He's actually retired, I guess. Yes, he actually has retired. He's hit the wall in the final corner.
Oh, okay, so our first retirement in Tier 4. These guys have done pretty good retirement-wise. We've had a lot in Tier 3 and Tier 2 in Monza, but yeah, these guys doing pretty well out there so far. I'm pretty impressed. Bowman in the pits, legend in the pit. Nico stays out. He, of course, is a fellow Renault driver, is in the pits, so he will want to, he doesn't want to double stack.
Yeah, Legend should have this pretty easily. Micro P out of turn 1 now, and he's gonna be just outside of DRS range here, so that undercut for Micro P didn't work at all. He's 2 seconds off.
Yeah, and that 5-second penalty he's picked up means he's effectively, right now, he's P4, and Giannis is actually in the podium.
Yep, that's right. And Gerla, yeah, Bowman has actually pitted as well, but where did he lose all that time? Did he have a penalty or something? I'm just gonna try and have a look here in the race director, because it's a little strange that he lost all that time.
Larson rejoins session. Hopefully he can take care of his car. He's actually in P13. Oh no, the AI decided to pit Larson for fresh mediums.
At least for fresh mediums, so that's
yeah, that's not too bad.
A complete disaster.
That's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, we have Mr. Keyboard Magnuson asking in chat, why is Larson driving here? So maybe you can give him an...
We speak after.
Okay.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's just he didn't get to drive in the actual race, and we I guess we might give these wildcards for these races sometimes. So.
Yeah, you may see Ocean Chief in here someday.
Yeah, I think that's
P10.
I was about to say that. I think that would be
that'd be hilarious.
Nah, I'm not saying hilarious, but I would love to see you on track here.
Yeah, I think it might be a thing. Each week we have like a guest driver.
Yep.
You know, because there's a lot of guys would like to see in here and to see how they compare.
It won't be you, Vinny, because you'll win by a lap or something.
Jules saying me next. Me next. Maybe someday.
Isn't that at least it's a saying in Finnish that old people first?
Or over
you're
here,
gonna win that one.
We have another saying over here. It's dirt before the shovel.
Okay.
Or age before beauty. There's another one.
Okay, so in the meanwhile, Giannis is actually almost on the back of Nico Rosberg here, which is so Giannis is having a pretty good time here on these hard tires. He's actually got DRS now on Nico Rosberg, who definitely. So how did Nico end up behind Micro P? and so far behind him as well. So he must have had a really scruffy in-lap from those old softs that he was running on.
Yeah.
Having a look here, 113, and
He didn't
yeah,
serve a
he
penalty
was
in the
about.
pits or anything, no?
No, I don't think so. He was about 2 seconds slower on his in-lap than Legend, for example. So,
Yeah.
so those tires must have really, literally gone off a cliff.
Yeah,
Yep.
they do have a tendency to turn to jelly on some tracks, and I think Austria is one of them, especially so fast.
Yeah. What I can't figure out here is how did Bowman drop so far from Gerla? I'm just trying to see here. Is Gerla is not yet pitted, is he? No, he has.
Yeah,
I'm,
Gerla
I'm
has
just
pitted, yeah.
the race director times are not making any sense at all.
Well, Larson has made his way
Yeah.
past a few people. He's got past Sago and Ward up, so he's now in P11. He's got these fresh mediums on. Oh, what have you
Bowman
seen?
almost lost. What is he doing? He was like weaving it on the main street. I thought he was gonna lose it there.
Oh dear.
Not entirely sure what that was about, but yeah, Bowman on his way.
Yeah, he's running P6 at the minute. He is on the fresher tires for most of the guys ahead of him, but 8.4 is the gap to P5. So, I mean, he's still got a chance of taking Nico. Nico's got that 5-second penalty. Gurley gets a penalty as well. So there's plenty of penalties coming in here. So if you can keep it clean and keep your nose, well, keep your car in the track limits, you will do pretty good at the finish line.
Giannis is doing really well on those hards. The times I drove the hard tires on this track, I was just nowhere on pace. But Giannis is pretty much hanging under the back of Nico Rosberg and Micro P. And as I say that, actually, he drops out of DRS. So, just cut that turn one a little bit too much.
Got a pretty good angle on that cut. It was definitely a track cut. He had all 4 wheels. Oh, and there is moving up, and for P2, got Nico and Micro P battling over P2 here. Nico retakes P2 and makes it look pretty easy. So Nico's got work to do. He needs to build up a gap here.
So Micro P coming back at him.
Micro P gonna go around
the outside, but I think he's not gonna have the line for the turn 4. So, yep, Nico Rosberg keeps that place.
And Larson's technical issues continue as he's out of the session once again. He got up to P10 there, so this is terrible for Larson.
It's really unfortunate. Unless you crash on second last lap, Chief. What was that for?
Oh, that's a reference to Jules' Tier 2 performance. There he was in the points until the last penultimate lap in Span.
Yeah, yes, of course. Yeah, I remember that. Wimpy caught him actually on the final lap of the race, yes. Yep. And
I'm just watching Raz right now.
So Joel and Wimpy watching this race intently on the stream and trying to pick up who might get a piece of those tier 3 positions we have available.
Yeah, if you guys see anybody you're favoring right now, let us know. I think the obvious choice right now is Legend, P1. No penalties that I'm aware of.
And he's running really well in there as well. 4.5 seconds clear of Nico Rosberg. So Legend does actually have a 5-second time penalty from speeding at the pit lane. So he actually has to get a move on here.
Yeah, getting some names in chat. Shaka says Joel. Nico says no threat. I think the thing with Nico is he's in this series because he can't do tier 2, or I don't think he can do tier 3 either. So he may be a familiar face in here, but it's good to have drivers like him in tier 4 as kind of more permanent fixtures, so we can kind of use them as a benchmark for the other drivers.
Yeah, I'm just having a look here actually at position change for a second. So we have Fubar and Shaka who have both picked up 7 positions here and are running in P7 and 8. And other 2 guys who have picked up, Giannis and Gerla, have picked up 2 positions during the race. So, but the top 3 are actually in that order that they were when we started this race. So.
Oh, I'm watching Everson Axelrod kind of close the gap up on P8 Shaka, but he got the last corner all wrong. He did get DRS though, so he is closing up still on Shaka, so we may see a move here into turn 2 possibly.
Shaka, no assist driver as you said, I think, so
yeah.
Not doing too bad there. both of them are running extremely low ERS, and Larson joins the session again.
Yeah,
I think his race is pretty much done.
Joel impressed by Shaka, but Shaka, as we said, there are no assists, so if he's moving
Yeah.
up to a tier, it's going to be tier 1. So I think maybe give him a few races in tier 4 just to get up to speed, because tier 1 is pretty tough.
Yeah, it's pretty. I would say merciless on the pace front. I mean, the racing is really good in tier 1, but the pace, especially of the front runners, is just extreme.
And he's doing here. Shaka's actually doing pretty good here, holding off Everest Snaxalot. It looks like Everest Snaxalot on these hard, struggling a little bit for the final corners.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be struggling on those. It's 15 lap old hards, and he's gonna have to get another 15 laps out of them pretty much. So it's gonna be a long race for Enemy Killer until unless he decides to go for the softs at the end of the race or something like that. We'll see.
Do you think these mediums are going to last at the end of the race, or are they going to start falling off soon?
I mean, you can get those hards to the end for sure, but I don't think it's not gonna be much of a joyride at the end of the race if you're on 30 lap old hards.
Okay, so I'm trying to find a close battle we can keep an eye on. I think the closest one right now is P9, P8 and P4, P3.
Giannis right on Micro P's tail. And Micro P running really low on ERS. Giannis might actually have a run here. Yeah, closing up really fast.
He's in overtake mode.
Turn 3. Sends it on the inside and just just about keeps it on track. There wasn't really a car switch there on the outside, but he makes the move stick and actually gets DRS here as well because of the detection point on the straight leading up to turn 3. So
yeah, I hate that whenever you get overtaken and then on the next straight the guy who overtook you has DRS. You're like, no, this is just cruel.
Yeah, and Giannis and Micro P both here on these hard tires. So they're on pretty equal footing, I would say.
Yeah, Bowman has closed down the gap on Gurla, P5, but Bowman did pick up a 3-second time penalty. I saw that flash up on the screen. Legend fastest lap
of the race.
108 flat, not bad.
Nope, not bad at all. Runs a little wide in turn 1. That might have been a warning. I'm just gonna have a look actually. It wasn't, so never mind. Yeah, he's got that 5 seconds right now. Just about 5.1 on Nico Rosberg that he needs to win this race because of that 5 second speeding penalty he has from the pit lane.
Yeah, and Micro P picking up another penalty. I believe he has a good few to his name now, so he's...
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look there. So Giannis, let's see. First of all, Nico Rosberg is sitting on 1 warning. Giannis has 2 penalties and a warning. And Micro P has 3 plus. He's got 11 seconds, I think.
I sorry to interrupt, but we've got Everest Snaxalot. Looks like he's getting pretty feisty here. He's looking to put a move on Ward up.
He's actually been overtaken on the outside. So where did that racing point come from?
Yeah, I think I don't know actually. Where did that come from?
So Wardup came out of nowhere and took P9 there, and he's looking very feisty here against Chaka for P8. And Enemy Killer is definitely struggling on those. I need to try and say this new nickname he's using, Ever Snaxo. What? I can't say it. Ever Snaxo. Can I just call him Ever Snaxo?
Yeah. It works for me.
I'll probably call him Enemy Killer anyway. You'll just have to bear with it. But
well, we've got a battle here. P3 on track. Yep. Giannis on Micro P. Giannis almost getting
traded places again.
Yeah. It's so hard. You have to get out of that DRS zone, but it's so hard on a short track to build up that gap.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's happened back there? It's Ever Snaxalot gets past Ward Up, so Ward Up. Oh, there's been an issue. Shaka is running very slow in the middle of the second straight.
And he's missing pretty much almost all of his front wing. So I wonder if there was contact into turn 1 or whatever happened there. So we have. Yellow flags in sector 1 and 2, or is this yet another bug? I guess it is. So Shaka, yeah, I think they must have come together with those two other guys. I'm just gonna have a look. Oh, there's so much stuff in Race Director. Yeah, it's just nothing on the collisions. I guess we don't really get collision warnings during the race unless it's.
Ooh, I got Janus up the inside of Micro P and going to get DRS on this third straight. And yeah, he's got the inside line, so he's probably going to get this done, I would say, unless Micro P is really brave on the brakes. Bowman with another penalty. Oh my word, they're rolling in right now.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have a look at that. So Gerla running in P5, he's got only one penalty, but I think Bowman has 2 now. Yes, so Bowman, yeah, he's running in a pretty solid P6. I don't think he's gonna be too threatened there, but looks like he will not be able to really challenge Gerla here unless we get some safety car shenanigans or something at the end of the race here.
Yeah, it is possible. There's
a Micro P on Giannis again on the main straight, and he's gonna make that easily into turn 1. So
yeah, made that look easy. Oh, gets another penalty for that.
Yeah, just cuts that turn 1 too much.
Yeah, it's so easy to do, so easy.
And Giannis is gonna get it back here. Yeah. So they're just trading places on DRS. That's what it looks like, these two guys.
Yeah, do you think it's going to hurt or hinder Giannis as he tries to get within 5 seconds of Nico?
I think it actually helps them, because they're just dropping Gerla still at this pace. And it just looks like they just don't quite have the pace to challenge the Renaults up front anyway, with this tire choice that they made. So it looks like I think they're doing a good job here. They're basically trading places on the DRS straights and helping each other out. That's what it looks like. They're not fighting too hard about it. So
yeah, another change of position where Eversnaxlot gets past Ward up. So there's a battle here for P8. Eversnaxlot's his tires seem to come and go. He's staying ahead for now.
Yeah, Shaka's actually pitted for those softs as well after that contact or whatever happened. We'll maybe have to ask after the race. We didn't quite catch that on the stream.
Yeah, and it's a repeat of the last lap as Micro P gets passed by Janus again.
Shaka is in this as a ghost because he's a lap down, so it's gonna be a little bit messy for those guys. Bowman 5-second penalty for extending the track limits.
Oh man, that's not good.
Well, Bowman is actually in the wall, is he? Or is this? Yeah, he's retired from the session, so he's completely crashed into turn 1. Wonder if we have virtual safety car, which I suppose is not going to do too much here if everybody just adheres to the delta. Bowman leaves the session, so I don't know what happened there. He was just, you can see his car on the map. He's just gone straight off in turn 1.
Yep, so unfortunate, he's out. Team Bowman are upset in chat, but yeah, it happens. We'll see him back for another race, I'm sure, next week. But up front, what is happening with Micro P?
Shaka is still here in this kind of a messy thing, because he's basically a lap down and he's in this battle. So what would be the right thing to do here? I'm not sure. Maybe he should just drop back a little bit to...
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because he's ghosted, so he's not too much of an issue.
He's gonna get a penalty here, isn't he, if he doesn't get out of the way?
Yeah.
Unless he actually manages to drive away from these guys with those fresh softs.
It's gonna be tough, though.
Oh, and there's a big fight as well at the same time. So Giannis and Micro P fighting for that P3 on track. Micro P, of course, has those penalties, so this battle is not really a battle, I think, that much.
Yeah, and another battle we keep going back to. Ward up gets past Eversnaxlot into turn 2, so it's these guys just cannot escape each other's DRS, so swapping positions every lap it seems, so it's going to go down to the last lap, I think.
Yeah. And we have yellow flag in sector 3, that's for... It's...
A Toro, yeah.
Who is that? Yeah, but I can't see who it is. It's... oh, it was... it must have been Artico, yeah. Who was out in turn 8, I believe. Yep, but he's back on track and continues on his way.
Yeah, and Giannis has managed to stay ahead of Micro P this lap, no change of position, so I wonder, is Giannis going to get the hammer down now and try and build up this gap to 1 second, escape the clutches of DRS?
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to do because Micro P has pretty good pace here as well, even though his ERS is running extremely low. But yeah, it looks like Giannis is trying to make a break here, and I'm lagging a little bit there. But yeah, we'll see. 0.7 is the gap now, so is he gonna be able to get out of that DRS range? It looks like not quite.
Yeah, not quite. We're going to see that gap close up again, and it's tricky. And Giannis is lagging a lot here. I'm seeing his
Yeah.
car do all kinds of weird voodoo stuff.
Yeah, Giannis really made everything he could. He used up a lot of charge to try and deployed a lot of charge to try and get out of this drop Micro P from his DRS range, and he's almost managed to do it. 0.9 is the gap now.
Yeah, see,
But I
you see,
think
1 is the mode selected by Micro P there, so that's that auto ERS costing him again. So he's in low
yeah, so,
ERS mode against overtake mode. It's not going to work
yeah,
out.
so this is why auto ERS is really crap, and he's actually out of DRS range now, isn't he? 1.2 seconds. So it actually goes into low on the straights, which makes absolutely no sense at all. But yeah, it's. I mean, I think Lando Norris said something about it. It's not actually very realistic that you would have to fiddle around with it for every turn and every straight and every corner. But yeah, if you want to be fast, you definitely have to use the manual DRS.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's one of my
He's
bear
gone.
bugs about the game is having to manage that ERS because I need to focus on the race.
Yeah.
IS and saying dogs are going crazy. Yeah, there's mad support going on in the background here with my dogs. I think there's a cat somewhere about. So I'm just gonna nip off here a wee second, just 2 seconds to sort out this
Yep.
issue with the dogs.
And Micro P has actually managed to get back to DRS range of Giannis. And so Giannis, after all that good work last lap that he managed to do, he's once again found himself under pressure from behind by Micro P. And these guys have been going at it pretty much after their pit stop the last 20 laps or so. And they're fighting hard at the middle section of the track. Oh, and look like they would have come together there a little bit, but not quite. Micro P trying everything to challenge Giannis here for on track, but of course those penalties are going to be costly for Micro P. I think he's got about 6 seconds more than Giannis. So Giannis is lagging pretty hard on the straight there. So Micro P makes the move into turn 1. But I think he's just going to lose it here on the next straight again. Because Giannis gets... actually, Micro P got that DRS, so Giannis, Micro P going side by side into turn 3. But Giannis just about manages to make it stick. It's a little bit of a Verstappen Leclerc moment again in turn 3, but not really a car switch on the outside. But Giannis holds on to that P3. And do they really touch a little bit there? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
Chief is back as well.
I am back. Thankfully, caught all that action because I was riding on board there with Micro P just as that went down.
Yeah, Giannis is lagging really hard. It's what it looks like to me anyway. And Enemy Killer has actually pitted for softs and picks up the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, he's in P10 as well, so he will get points here unless he's got a bunch of penalties. Ooh, and they almost go side by side in the penultimate corner. Micro P just backs out of that at the last second, and probably wisely so.
Yep.
Yeah, and he gets him. He's already passed him by turn 1, so Giannis will have DRS on the second straight here. So
no, he won't actually. Oh, we will because of that.
Oh yeah,
there was
both
a
of
lap
them.
car in between.
Yeah, both of them have DRS, so it's even Stevens here, but it looks like Giannis is going to get past him again. I think it's this auto ERS of Micro P.
Oh, there. Giannis is pushing him really wide. They're doing a basically Verstappen there into that corner every lap. So
yeah, he's having to do everything in his power to hold off Micro P.
and actually, we're what are we? 2.5 laps from the end, but Nico Rosberg has actually closed down the gap to 4.6 seconds, so he's actually in the race-winning position here. So Nico Rosberg is actually, he's still, I'm just gonna have a look here, he's got 2 warnings, so he's 1 warning away from a penalty. But Legend has that 5 seconds from his...
Oh, it's Legend has a... I keep thinking it was Nico, so it's actually
No.
Legend, right? Okay,
Yeah,
so...
Legend has a 5-second penalty from the speeding in the pit lane, so Nico is actually back into a race-winning position here.
Yeah, look at that margin though, 4.8, it's very
Yeah,
tight. 4.9
yeah,
now.
it's
Oh,
closing a little bit maybe.
and Micro P just sent it around turn 1, around the
Oh.
outside.
And they're gonna trade places. This has been happening like 5 laps in a row now.
Yeah.
So Giannis is just gonna take it back here into turn 3, right? Oh, and they
Squeeze them
come
out once
together a
more,
little bit.
yeah, so Micro P having to get back on track and get up to speed again.
Shaka getting involved in this battle. He's got those much better tires, of course, than these guys, and seems to have more pace, but he can't really overtake them because he's gonna get a penalty or disqualified if he does it.
Yeah, and look at P2, the gap from P2 to P1, it's hovering around 5 seconds. This is going to be marginal.
Yeah.
Who wins this race is going to go down to the wire, this one.
Yeah, and what else can we pick up here? There's Ward up on Fubar on the back DRS straight, and yep, Jan. Oh, they come together a little bit at the in the fight for P3. So Giannis gets shoved off at the final corner.
Oh, and it looks like Micro P let him by again. Did you see that?
I think he might have got an illegal overtake there.
Okay, so that's pretty much decided this battle for now. It looks like that gap is 1.3 from P4 to P3, so that DRS range is broken for now. Ward up is falling off the back of Fubar again here, but he's looking alright. Oh, he goes wide on the final corner there as well.
We're actually on the final lap of the race here, so Nico Rosberg is now just outside that winning margin. So I think Legend might have this after all. 5.2 is the gap now.
5.2, 5.1. It's hovering around thereabouts. It's all going to come down to how Nico does in the
right
last
down
corner.
The wire.
Yeah, Nico 5.1, 5.
Oh,
look at that gap, 0.1117. So close, Nico. But Legend takes the win of this race, and Janis, yeah, he's about to cross the line. He's going to take that P3
should be a
position.
clear P3 here.
Yeah,
He's got a couple of penalties himself, but Micro P had a lot more, so he's actually 12 seconds down on the track. But I think that will still not be enough for Gerla to pick up another position here. But Gerla seems to be pretty happy with this. He's weaving across the line in P5. And yeah, pretty solid race from him.
P6 Fubar is about to cross the line as well. He's got Ward up right behind him, so how do the penalties play out?
He's really happy with this one. He's picked up 8 positions in this race, so Fubar, good race from him. He's finishes in P6.
Ward up
Ward
P7.
up behind him in P7.
Oh, and Ever Snacks a lot gets P9.
Yeah, I think P8 actually, did he?
Oh, P8, even better.
That's what it looked like. I have to look at the results, but I think he got flashed up to P8 there.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that, I guess, and Fast Slap, I believe, as well.
Yep. So, yeah, it's Mr. Enemy Killer up to P8. A lot of penalties, as you see in the results here. Micro P 17 seconds. That's the I've picked up 17 seconds ones as well.
Yeah.
Russia, I think.
It can happen, but
yeah. Anyway, that was pretty entertaining. We had a very close battle for the win of the race because thanks to Legend picking up that 5-second penalty in the pit lane. So 0.1 is the gap between the two Renaults after the penalties have been applied. So yeah, but yeah, the Renault started 1 and 2, and they also finished 1 and 2.
Good stuff, yeah, from the Renault boys. And then Janis P3, solid drive from him. He had to work for it though. Micro P was not giving him a easy time of it out there, but Yeah, gets across the line in P3 and takes a podium position. Michael P, pretty good performance, but yeah, those penalties hurt him big time, and just meant that
Yeah,
that battle for the podium was pretty much, yeah, it was on track only, but that doesn't count on the final standings board as he takes P4 then. And yeah, Gurley as
yeah,
well, pretty impressed with him. Solid drive, kept himself to himself for most of it. I
yeah.
think,
Kept out of trouble, and he seemed to be really happy along with Fubar, who both happily weaved across the line when they finished the race. So good stuff. It's a long race, 50% race. 30, what is it, 36 laps here. So have to focus for all of that plus the qualifying. So yeah, good stuff from these guys. I think some of these guys are pretty new to league racing as well. So yeah,
yeah, that's what Tier 4 is all about. They got a lot of these kind of fresh guys coming in, and we've all been there at one point. It might have been very, very long ago with the likes of me and you. Well,
yeah. For
actually,
me, it's been about 20 years, or no, maybe not 18 years. Yeah. So
yeah,
I started online racing in F1 2002.
I think like actually league racing was 2018, but before that I was always playing like
Oh,
multiplayer against mates or something. But yeah, 2018 league racing. But I remember coming into league racing, it's very daunting. You're coming in, you don't know what the crack
yeah.
is, and there's so much to learn, so much to take on board. Um, but I've got the interview screen up, so I think it's time that we bring in some of these guys for an interview. I'm gonna see if we can get either Nico or Legend in for a chat as they were
Sure.
P1 and P2.
Talk to Gerla. He's there at least.
Yeah, we'll bring in Gerla. There he is right there. Let's see. Hello, hello, Gerla. How are you doing? You're
Hello.
joining me in Ice in the commentary booth.
Hello.
We were just saying there, you had a pretty solid race. Picked up, I'm gonna remember,
P5.
P5. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
P5.
Yep. So you kind of had a quiet one. Didn't see much of you on the broadcast, but yeah, just kept your nose clean. So just tell us, how did you find the race here?
Yeah, after the first couple laps, I was basically alone for the rest of the race. Yeah, I just did my strategy and just just finished the race basically.
And all that practice paid off. We've noticed that in the admin team, you're very active on the practice sessions, and that's something we always like think is a positive sign from the new drivers coming into the league. We know you've
Yeah,
you've raced in a tier race before, like tier two or was it three?
tier 3.
Tier three, yeah. So I think you're one of the guys that are probably going to get one of those seats. I would, say you're up there. Like, are you interested in taking a full time tier three seat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, I think Wimpy is going to have the final say on that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think we'll hear
Okay.
more about that tomorrow. I think Wimpy is off for today, but yeah, we'll most likely see some decisions tomorrow about that.
Yeah, it's fine, but if I don't, I'm looking forward to racing in tier 4 as well. So
yeah. So we're talking about it on stream. Tier four, it's a brand new thing. It's a brand new venture for us. We're not treating it like the other tiers as such. Where you get standings, FI, the full treatment. Tier four is more like for
mhm.
us to assess new drivers like yourself and see which tier you best be suited to. So, there may be people who are, have a lot of tier four races as they just get up to speed, get experience and stuff. But I think you're one of the
Yeah.
ones that are like, up at the top of our list of people who think, yeah, you're ready to get into one of the higher tiers and show us what you can do. We've already seen you in tier three, and how did that tier three race go?
It went pretty well. I mean, I got an incident in the first lap. It was at Monza, and then I pitted for hard. I think for hards, I can't remember. And then I did the whole race. Yeah, I did the whole race on hards. So my tires were basically dead in the end, but I got P5, so it was pretty good.
Hey. So yeah, you've kind of you've got an art form there of just keeping it, keeping it clean, even though you had that incident on the lap one which sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just get the head down and just grind it out. That's where all the practice pays off. Um,
Yeah, for
yes,
sure. Practice is really helpful.
yeah, and like I say, it's really good. We do notice whenever people are hosting practice sessions or really involved in the practice sessions, we notice that, and the guys that we see as more active in practice sessions are more likely to get full-time seats or reserve spots. So keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
Gerla, and hopefully see you in tier 3 or tier 2 in the near future in a full-time seat.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah, and congrats on P5 then. So we'll move you back into Gentleman's Lounge. Who else have we got? We do have Nico Rosbot. I'm going to yoink him in. So Nico
Well,
Rosbot, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. And how you?
I'm alright. Yeah, I'm alright. So you're Nico Rosbot, but are you also PLZ? Is that you?
Yes, it's me. It's just my Discord name.
Oh, okay. See, I'm very old. Iceman's not as old, but he's getting there, and
Almost.
we find it we find it very confusing when people change names. So it's like, yeah, it takes us a while to catch up. But Nico, just getting to your race, you had a pretty decent race out there, has to be said. Um, you Legend picked up that 5 second penalty. You were
Uh,
just about within that 5 seconds up until you closed that gap down, but just that last lap, then you weren't able to get within the 5 seconds. Like, what was that last lap like? Were you fully aware of the gap, or were you just gunning it, hoping that you get him in time?
Actually, I never knew that he had a penalty
Oh no.
because so
Okay.
it was like I wasn't cruising around. I tried to get the fastest lap and the last lap, but then I ran out of fuel. But
Okay.
anyway, I never knew that he had a penalty. I So when I crossed the finish line, I just 0.1. I was what? I could if I tried, but also the SEM legend himself said that he actually also tried so hard as he could until last lap. So was
Yeah, it was good to see. Like, it's kind of weird in that you guys were teammates in this race, but you're not really teammates because there's no standings, there's no constructor points to be playing for. So effectively, you're not teammates. You're just in the same car. So, like we were saying on track, you guys were battling hard. It was there was no love lost on track, but you both kept it very clean. And I mean, you'd be an obvious choice for one of the higher tier seats, like tier 2, tier 3. But I believe you can't make those races, so you're probably gonna stay in tier 4 for a bit, yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, I really want to. I may have some days where I'm pretty free, but yeah, at the moment it doesn't seem so. It doesn't look like I'm going to race in tier 3 due to my time
Yeah,
or
or
my busy schedule.
tier 2 as well, you no interest?
I have interest in them both, but just the daily life now is a bit busy due to the corona. So yeah, but maybe in the future, if this I might get a chance, I guess.
Um, yeah, so I would like to see in tier 2. I think you would do pretty well there. I'm sure you've watched some of the tier 2 races. They are pretty fun. We do call that one the Thunderdome. But maybe you can go in there and clean it up a bit for us. But yeah, we'll see you in tier 4 races in the future, and we'll see if we can sort you out with one because I think you're definitely one of the faster guys as you demonstrated today in this tier 4. But I don't really have an issue with that because you're a good way of being like a benchmark for the other drivers that we're trying to assess and see where they kind of lie. So will you finish in P2 today? Obviously, Legend. I want to actually speak to him. He's kind of ignoring me here in the chat, but I want to speak to him and see if he's interested in taking a seat because he's an
Didn't
obvious
you
choice.
ping somebody totally else than him?
Yeah, I just realized that David Weasel. How is that even possible?
Yeah, okay.
I'll try again, yeah. But Nico, brilliant race for me, man. Really enjoyed that one, and we will look forward to seeing you next race. I'm not sure where that's going to be yet. We're going to do a vote on that, so watch out for that vote, and we'll see you next time then, okay?
Yeah, bro. Cheers.
Yep, not a problem, man. Catch you later. And yeah, so Legend, he doesn't know if he can do VC, so we're gonna skip him for now. So got a bunch of guys in here though. I'm gonna bring in Shakalaka Laka. So Shakalaka Laka Laka.
Yeah.
How's it going, my man?
Oh, hello. Well, yeah. Fun race.
Yeah, we
full
were
of
watching you.
incidents.
Yeah, we saw you for a good bit of it there. Yeah, you were doing all right. We were saying you're a no assist driver, aren't you?
Yeah, no assists. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so I mean, you're up against it. You're up against these guys, and they're all running. Most of them are probably running all forms of assists, like racing line, ABS. So how does that feel when you're out there? You know, you've no assists. Is it a source of pride for you, or are you just like, I'm getting murdered here? Maybe I should turn on assists myself.
Well, it's complicated. The thing is, I did try to run a few assists on practice, and I'm not really quicker with them. So then I decided, then why to do that? Because then I will have to learn without assist after that. So better just to go slowly and gain speed slowly. Yeah. But I was doing all right in the race. It's just then I got taken out.
Yeah, we did see that incident. That was unfortunate, but I mean, the
Bad
fact,
luck.
the fact that you're running no assists, like it should be a great source of pride for you because what you find is, if you are running assists, you're going to end up having to drop them at some point anyway, and if you do it sooner rather than later, it's going to pay off in the long term faster. So, I mean, I completely, respect you for doing it, and I'm hoping for big things for you as you get the experience under your belt. So, I mean, just speaking of experience, like, what is your experience of league racing coming into this? Is this your first taste of it, or have you done some before?
No, league racing. This is my second race. Now I did last week also in Spa. So this is my second race, league racing.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, that's what Tier 4 is really about, these people like yourself coming in, no experience of league racing, just to get a bit of experience and to, get some time on track. Because you know what it's like in practice sessions, a bit more relaxed, you can get away with a bit more, but when it's race time, you have to be on it. You can't make mistakes, you can't goof up, you can't get in the way of people in qualifying, those kind of things. And you only learn that from actually doing league races.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, now in the race, I had these guys behind, and they would just not back off. It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's a totally different story in the race. In practice, you can be able to relax and, take it easy, but when it comes to race time, it's all about maintaining that focus, not making any mistakes. Because a lot of both me and Ice are in the FIA, and we always, look at some incidents, and there's incidents where, it may not be your fault, the actual incident itself, but you may have part responsibility because
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I twitched there a little bit and made contact. I didn't really block the line or anything, but just there was a little twitch, and then I was in the wall. I was so devastated with that.
Yeah, like I'm thinking about I had an incident in Bahrain where we're going for a corner. It's a fast corner. You don't usually don't let up in the throttle, but I just lost a bit of traction, so I had to come off the throttle. That put me in a bad position. It meant the guy behind me then he was facing a car that was slowing down mid corner, and he goes into the
Yeah.
back of me. So even though it was his fault, technically he shouldn't be going into the back of another car. I put myself in that position. So it's good to try and think of the bigger picture when you're looking at incidents you're involved in. Always to see where you could have done better. But this is it. This is what it's all about, man. Every race, just learning from the mistakes, and growing on the strengths. And I think you've got a good platform at the minute. A good baseline. And I'm expecting big things from you. No pressure, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Thank you,
expecting
man.
some
Thank you.
podiums, okay? But you're another guy I see in practice sessions all the time, and that's a great sign. It really is. You'll see. I would say you're going to see big improvements pretty quickly. With that practice.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks. That's really nice to hear.
Yep, not a problem, man. Anything further to add?
No, but just props from my side as well for running no assists. Everybody knows my stance on assists, so I think we're not gonna go there. So yeah, anyway, good job. Unfortunate with that incident in turn 1, but
It's okay.
you were running well until that, so yeah.
Yeah, it was not so bad. I qualified terribly, but then the race wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I think I've said it in stream as well that I saw you do a 105 in the practice session earlier today, but you just couldn't quite hook it up in the.
Yeah, actually, I invalidated a few laps. Then
okay.
my best lap, I got traffic on entering the pits. There was like 2 or 3 cars in there, so I had to brake massively. Lost the back, and it was that was actually at the time I qualified on. I think it was a 106.4 or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So.
Yeah,
not
so
ideal, but
bad luck.
we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you.
Just touching on that though, that's another thing. Like in qualifying and practice, you go into it, you're a bit more relaxed, but whenever the race qualifying comes on, I find that that additional pressure, it just you tend to make more mistakes, and it's hard to kind of match what you've been doing in the practice sessions. So that's again, that's all experience. As you get more experience under your belt, you get a bit more relaxed and stuff. And this is coming from me, who's still terrible at qualifying, but at least you've got potential. We've seen pace from you in the practice sessions. So yes, onwards and upwards, my friend. I'm going to move back into gentlemen. So thanks very much for joining us in the chat, and we'll hopefully speak to you again soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Okay, so let's have a chat with Bowman. We had a lot of Team Bowman supporters in chat, and we're bringing Bowman into the commentary booth. It didn't go your way today, but you did show some good promise out there, Bowman. Just tell us about your race, how you felt it went.
Thank you. No, actually, my controller, my Xbox One controller, decided to die on lap 2.
Oh no!
So I had, the thumbstick, the left thumbstick, the one that is for turning. It's, I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm just pushing it too hard because of the stress. But when it was in the idle position, it turned my car to left slightly. So I had to fight through it for entire race, and then at lap 24 on 25, just totally went bananas and decided to ram me into the wall. And
we commented about it on the stream because I saw you like swerve around on the start finish straight at some point in the race, and I was wondering what was that about. But okay, I understand it now.
Going nuts. Yeah. So another DNF. I'm just starting to getting used to it now.
Yeah, well, this is what Tier 4 is all about, just get that experience under your belt. And yeah, like I was saying, there was a lot of support for you in the chat stream. A lot of guys were cheering you on. And a lot of disappointment then, when you did DNF there at the end. But well, hopefully, we know you've got. Yeah, we know you've got the pace. So we're going to see you do well, I'm sure, in future races. We're not sure what the track is for next week. It's currently being decided, but any particular favorite tracks out there that you want to see?
Yes. I already voted for Germany, so Hockenheim is a track I like. But also, I know people are miming about Baku, but I actually think I would do well there too. So we'll see.
Okay, interesting stuff. Interesting. So we will see you next week then, Bowman, and hopefully see your supporters in chat again, and you can actually give them a race to be happy about. Maybe get a podium, maybe. I mean, to be honest, you're not far off. You're not far off, man. This race showed that you do have the potential now. But yeah, just get grinding. I think there's plenty of practice sessions happening at the minute, so take full advantage of them. That's where you're gonna find those extra tenths, So I will move you back into gentlemen's. Bowman, thanks for joining us in chat, and
thank you very much.
We will speak to you again soon, mate. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and we're running out of people to chat to. I think the last one will be Sunny Yeah, Sonny, join
Hi.
us in chat here. You've got myself and Icewind. Just watch your race. I think you're one of the guys that holds a lot of promise, and we were thinking this guy is going to do good things in this race. It didn't work out your way, unfortunately. Do you want to just tell us about that incident that saw you having to pit early?
Yeah, I think the story starts even before the race because in the quali, I don't know if you guys noticed, I was exiting the pit lane and there was a car behind me and I slowed down a bit to change the settings to just, reduce the fuel, get relaxed, and then I got hit in the back. So I
So
lost
that's
5.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was before even quali started. So I set my personal best. I never set such a quick time in quali. I was really happy about it despite the penalty. But yeah, I think it was 4.8 or 9. It was pretty close, and it was even better than my time trial time. So when the race started, I think I had terrible first few laps. So I was losing places because I was practicing most of the time trial. I was not used to cold tires. And I lost like 5 places. I got hit a lot. I got overtaken off track, which was funny. And I think lap 4 I had really hot tires because all of the issues with aggressive drivers, and I just lost the traction and spun on myself. So then this happened, and but just so you guys know, I don't know if you noticed it on stream, but later in the race, Legend was lapping me, and I was sitting in his DRS for entire time. So I managed to pick up
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
5 places, and in the end, when I saved some ERS and some fuel, I wanted to overtake him because I felt like I can go faster than he does, and I still wanted to try to get into the points to see if someone has penalties. Yeah, and I think I gave him the DRS that was just enough for him to secure P1 because
Oh,
of his
okay.
penalties. So I think if I was not there, he would be P2. He says it's a lie, but I carried him into the into P1.
So you're taking full credit for that P1 then? So
Yeah, definitely. No, but I mean, he's fast driver. He deserved it. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, so you finished P11 in it at the end of the day, just outside the points, but I think it's clear to myself that you're one of these guys that holds a lot of promise, and I think you're gonna be in tier 2 soon, I would say, or tier 3 maybe, pretty soon, and you're another one of these guys that I see in practice sessions all the time, and is obviously a really good sign from my point of view, and I think it's only a matter of time before we're going to see you on the podium in tier 4, and then you'll probably get yoinked into one of the higher tiers and thrown into the likes of the Thunderdome. So what, like, how do you feel about that? Did you watch the tier 3, and tier 2 races this week in Monza?
Yeah, I was actually racing in Tier 3 as reserve driver, and
Oh,
I
you,
think I had a really nice race there. So I had
oh,
my first 2 league races. I think I was P5, P6, somewhere like that in the Tier 3. So already a good result. And I
100%,
didn't,
yeah.
yeah, I didn't watch Tier 2 race. I mean, I watched parts of it, and I feel like, yeah, the Thunderdome. I prefer tier 3. I was happy that I mean tier 3 race. I was happy to drive behind the clean drivers. Especially, I need to give kudos to Blender. He is like a really good driver to battle with. I felt like if we gonna battle, it's we gonna keep it clean and civil. So yeah,
Yeah. And
shout out to Blender.
yeah, you know yourself when you're racing against someone you know you can trust and you respect each other on track, it's so much more enjoyable. You don't have to worry about getting hit in the back or hit off track, with these kind of dubious moves. And that's something we are encouraging throughout all the tiers. So, anybody who's watching who is a full-time driver or is aspiring to be a full-time driver, at the end of the day, we have a community here in SLR. You get the Discord there, and it's all about, you guys are going to be racing on the same track each week. So, it's good to see you guys getting involved in the community, in the chat, talking to each other, getting to know each other, and respecting each other. ideally whenever you get to the track, then because you see the likes of Tier 2, we have that Thunderdome kind of intro video, and it's got that Thunderdome theme to it. We are taking it seriously. We do want to clean it up. But you can see what happens whenever it goes the other way, when people don't respect each other on track, don't have patience, and then people don't enjoy the experience then. So it's very much about that. It's about, getting respect of your fellow drivers, fighting hard, but at the same time keeping it clean and, racecraft. That's what it's all about. So this is it. This is it's
Yeah,
all experience, Sonny, and
yeah. Wise words. It brings fun out of the racing. Yeah,
yeah,
so I especially it's my just few weeks trying sim racing, and I had a blast. Yeah, you guys are doing great job with all of the coverage and organization stuff, so it is much appreciated, especially for us new guys. You guys allow us to have fun each week, so thanks
awesome,
a
man.
lot.
Well, listen, it's my pleasure. I love watching this. I love calling it. I love crew chiefing people. I love racing in the league. So it's a pleasure. And like I say, I always love these new guys coming in, because there was one time a long time ago where I was the new guy coming in and I had no idea what the hell was going on. Completely fresh, completely new to the scene, and there is so much to take on board. Like, I'm even learning stuff now. um, and you'll find out yourself as you progress. But I'll just end on this final thought, and I have a dream, okay? And the dream is for a new driver to come in and become champion in each tier before they move up to the next tier, and become champion in that, and eventually get into tier 1 and getting that title. That would be, yeah, that would be sensational. It's obviously never been done. We've only been operating for 4 seasons. We do have guys tier 2 champions, tier 1, but we've never had like a multi-division champion. So just putting it out there, anybody who wants a challenge, there's a big one for you. Tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1 champ. Is it possible? I guess we tune in and we find out as the races
It's a
progress
good
here.
thing to drop assists then if you want to do that.
Yeah, I
No,
think some of them.
that's just yeah. I have to agree with you there, Chief. Sorry, just cut you out there a little bit, but
No problem.
that would be really cool to see. We've seen it relatively little actually, like people progressing from tier 2 to tier 1. Mostly it's because it's quite difficult to get people to drop assists, but like well, I guess you didn't have a tier 2 back then when Speedy joined, and he was the champion last season, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
Speedy dropped assists, right? So
yeah,
it
yeah.
can be done.
It
Yeah,
can.
I think even some of the guys in our tier are using very little assists. Me myself, I think I use only racing line and the brakes assist, so it's not that much. Yeah, and moving up to wheel next week, hopefully for the next race, I will be prepared. So I'm looking to turn all of the assists soon.
Oh, that's good to hear, man. And listen, you've got the likes of me and Ice, and there's a lot of other people in the community that are going to be very supportive to anybody who is dropping assists or switching to wheel. We've all been there. I actually have a video on my channel. It's like a video about going from the pad to the wheel on the 2018 game, and it's just looking at like things you can do to try to speed up the process and switch over. Because initially, whenever I got the wheel, I was thinking I'll just be instantly faster, and you aren't. You have to learn. It's a whole new kind of device, input device. So you have to really get the grips with that. And I went from, like you're saying, from I had ABS on, medium traction control. I never used the line, but I had auto gears, and then from the pad I went to the wheel, dropped everything, went to cockpit view, which Icewind and a few others, have, kind of cursed me about, because apparently it's not really the fastest way to drive the car, or you can get a bit of pace from being in TCAM mode. But anyway, yeah, like
Well,
I
you just
just
see better. I don't think you're necessarily a lot faster, or so you just have better visibility and you can like judge. And I think it's a little bit of an assist, so I'll just take a bit of flack for myself there. So yeah, I mean obviously the the real racers will race from cockpit view.
There you go, Sonny.
Alright.
I think we'll end the stream there on Ice saying that I'm a real racer and he's a fake racer. And
Yep.
yeah.
I succumbed about, was it Monaco last season or whatever? I raced from cockpit before that as well. Then I don't know.
Yeah, there's times where I do doubt why I chose to go cockpit view, because it's like usually when there's like 5 cars around you and you have no idea where exactly they are, you just got all these red angry arrows just saying, telling you that you're surrounded. But yeah, it's good fun. It's immersive. I do enjoy it, and I am a bit stubborn about changing to the TCAM. But I mean, it's all down to user preference. But yeah, Sonny, you know, we've rambled on a wee bit here. You know, we're gonna track your progress, see how you get on. Tier 4 race next week, we'll be all over it, and hopefully you'll get a good result in that one. So
Yeah, hunting for that podium.
yeah, keep up the practice, man, and I'll hopefully see you on track soon myself, and we'll have a few scraps maybe. Just remember, I'm the admin, okay? So don't go faster than me, okay? You can pass me, but as long as you give me the move back by the end of the race. That goes for everybody else as well. But Sonny, yeah, I'm gonna move you back in the chat. Thanks for joining us. We'll speak to you again soon, okay,
Thank you.
man?
Till next time.
All the best. Okay, guys. I think that rounds it out. That was yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, a little bit of bugs once again with those weird yellow flags all over the track at the start of the race and stuff. But yeah, we've come to expect this from our beloved F1 2019. So.
It's a love-hate relationship, yeah. I mean, yesterday we had Keyboard Magnussen with the.
Yeah, he was racing on 3 wheels, right? But yeah,
I literally
keyboard warrior doesn't need 4 wheels to fight for a podium. So
I literally woke up this morning going, was that real or did I dream that? And then yeah, it's real. Yeah, so if you missed that, you definitely want to check that out. Tier 2 race yesterday, Keyboard Magnussen. I think he finished P4, was it?
Yeah, he was 4th in the end with he had a pit lane speeding penalty, I think.
Yeah, so he did most of the race with 3 wheels on the car, so that's a first for me. And today was another first where we saw a car in the pits, like driving the opposite direction of what it should have been.
Yeah, I think that was even on stream, so.
Yeah, that was a
check that out
one.
if you want to see a car driving the wrong way to the pit lane and then like instantly teleporting to go the right way again. So it's we've seen it all now.
Yep, and Tier 1
along with the bunny hop from Dead Pixel yesterday.
Yeah, that was funny. And Tier 1 is tomorrow, so yeah, we'll see everybody on track then. Ice and myself are gonna. Well, I'm not sure about Ice. But I definitely will be on track. We'll see tomorrow if we get the full alpha contingency out on the track. It is Monza next week, or sorry, tomorrow, and then we've got 2 SRL on Saturday with Tier 2 and Tier 1, and next week it'll be Singapore. So yeah, we've still got plenty of racing ahead for everybody, and thanks for watching. It's been myself and Ice. It's been a pleasure once again, Ice, and we'll be back next week.
Bye bye.